The American Revolution started here. Like at the end of the day, it's in Boston's culture to, you know, step up to anybody who tries to with us. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You either stand on your own or get the hell out of here.
I can't imagine living anywhere else. I mean, if you're into sports and there's nothing better.
Coming from the South where people they'll kind of blow smoke up your ass a little bit. They'll be super friendly up front, but then you never really get in with them. Whereas Boston's the complete opposite of that. Like after you talk to them for 15, 20 minutes, then it's like you've known them for 20 years. It's got a little bit of New York in that like people are busy. It's you know, it's a little bit of a grind to live here, but I think there's a lot more soul.
Where are we at?
Back in the old neighborhood, Cody.
Okay.
We had a 1-bedroom apartment. I was working for Marriott at the time, doing NLU at night on the side on the weekends. Weirdly, I miss it. It wasn't the easiest place to live, but it's the most European city in America, I think. It's very walking based.
Well, where are we gonna go next?
Let's go to George Wright. All right. I didn't know anybody when we moved here. Golf was a good activity, get me out and about, explore the local scene. I was kind of depressed moving here, thinking, all right, like the golf's gonna suck. It's not gonna be a great golf town, and it was the complete opposite. George Wright was the one that it's kind of the city of Boston, like official muni. So that was the first place I played. You know, kind of helped get me back into golf.
Who was George Wright?
George Wright was a professional baseball player. He was traded to Boston, and he became the first Hall of Fame shortstop. And after his retirement, he became a Hall of Fame tennis player over in Brookline. So he obviously was very talented. If you watch the movie Greatest Game Ever Played, he was the golf shop was Wright and Ditson. And he supposedly, again, I wasn't there for this, but supposedly he was the one that gave Francis Ouimet his first set of golf clubs.
Growing up in Atlanta and spending decades in Atlanta, there's so much bad golf course architecture. This is the exact opposite of that. First round I played out there was in early to mid-April, and I got the shit beat out of me. Tell me about the first time you ever played George Wright.
Jeez, it was a long time ago. My father took me there, and I didn't really truly appreciate it until I got older though. The mental battle that you have with yourself playing that course is just genius.
It's one of Donald Ross's, you know, what I'm told is one of his last ones that was done.
The golf course was built with, I think, 70,000 tons of dynamite back in the 1930s. It's fairly short by today's standards, but it's a lot of blind shots.
You've got a lot of push-up greens. You've got a lot of, we have several blind tee shots for the dog legs. When you get to the 5th hole, you're standing there and you're like, where am I hitting this golf ball, right?
Sneaky, challenging. Conditions are incredible. You know, for your municipal golf course in the heart of a city, they have put in a ton of resources, a ton of energy to make sure that it is a jewel for the city of Boston.
How's the course evolved over the years?
The conditions have gotten significantly better.
We inherited a golf course that was mostly in disrepair. We didn't have much grass on the greens. We didn't have much grass on the tees, and we had a lot of the original Donald Ross design features that have been taken out of play. It became our kind of role and our mission to kind of restore some of those original features.
This golf course has transformed from a beat-up golf course to right now it's getting to the point where it's country club conditions almost.
In the early 2000s, the city of Boston decided to make a lot of fundamental change with their golf course. The idea was to kind of change how the golf course operated, to make it a more friendly place to come play golf.
It was a course I played when I was a kid that never got any love. And, you know, really a lot of it has to do with the past Mayor Tom Menino.
He was a mayor of Boston that was born and bred in Hyde Park, so it was a big piece to his legacy, and when he saw it falling apart, he knew he needed to make a fundamental change.
Every year since 2002 on, we've put money back into the golf course. Every administration has been terrific. They've all had our backs.
It's a historic element of part of Boston, so it became a restoration project to restore a piece of history, a relevant piece of history that's very important to the city. You know, golf kind of came over here through England, through George Wright and his sporting goods stores, so it played a very significant role in golf.
They did most of that stuff after we left. So I'm excited to see it again.
It became a way to restore golf in an urban environment. It became a way to restore public golf and bring it to a city center where golf has been mainly focused for the previous 40 years in a private country club setting.
I mean, it's in the middle of everything. Like, it's in the middle of the hood, and you'll get probably some of the best conditions a golf course can have around here. It's really opened up the golf course to, of course, everybody in the community. And also myself, I run an organization teaching inner city kids how to play golf, and using places like George Wright and Franklin Park as a resource is exactly what we need right now.
Tee times are booked every day, every weekend, and it's been a resurgence, I'd say, in the last 10 years.
How fast do tee times sell out?
Immediately. So we open them up at 7 o'clock on Monday morning for Saturday. And it's like standing at the airport and watching the little squares just appear. And people will call and say, hey, it's 7:05. I can't get a tee time until 10:30. I said, that's what happens.
Tron, how's this car for city driving?
Absolutely fantastic. It's so smooth. It's quiet. I feel like you're riding around in a big battery. I love it. We're back, baby.
Still blown away by that building.
I know, I'm in awe of this massive structure.
I'd never seen the place before, but I remember being like in awe of the clubhouse. Clubhouse in particular was something that drew you. When you're that young, you don't really appreciate golf that much.
It's getting old. I mean, it's really old. The guts of it. Outside of it, we redid the roof, put a patio on. It's outside. It's fantastic. The inside, it's like an 80-year-old, 80, 90-year-old building. The wiring and everything. So the restaurant had issues with the breaker, the plumbing issue down there. So every day it's something.
How would I sum it up? Well,
Yeah.
it's a rugged course. It's really fit into a very rocky landscape. A lot of elevation change, a lot of contours. There's quite a few blind holes out here.
Mark Munjum is a rock star to me. He's been our architect since I've been here. And he just does a fabulous job. And he really cares about what he's doing.
Guys, this is Len Curtin. He's the superintendent out here.
Tron,
very
nice to meet you too. Place looks awesome, man.
So Len's been here about 20 years. He really spurred the restoration of the golf course. So, a lot of the fine tuning and the expansion of the greens.
Go.
That should be green. That's a future expansion area there. Get in there.
Some serious snap.
Yeah, I'd like to see it go up into this corner, be a little squarer corner, and go up onto that left back corner over there a little bit further.
A project like just expanding that green, like where would the money come from?
That would not be a project that would be funded. He would just do that in-house by scalping it down, aerating it, overseeding, and keep just lowering the height of cut.
So this place feels quintessentially New England, first and foremost. It feels big and bold and brash. That's kind of how Boston is. But at the end of the day, like you're gonna play it and you're gonna feel like the tank's full afterwards, even if you feel like you've just been through a 10-round heavyweight bout.
We just keep looking every year at what we feel is going to most improve the golf course and what most impacts their generation of revenue.
So like tee boxes are probably something, right?
Tee box is the biggest thing, quite honestly. You're right. Because obviously when originally built, there was one tee box and it was pretty small.
Yeah.
And now there's all this.
Now they're doing 40,000 rounds a year.
Right, and we want to have a diverse course where you different abilities. Get up there. Thanks.
Almost went in.
Go in. Nice putt.
Putt, dude. Good three. You got it.
The greens are all original, left them the same. We actually tried to bring them back a little bit more to their original shape. Since the invention of the riding lawnmower, almost all the greens up in the Northeast kind of turned into round greens. So we tried to bring that shape back on a lot of them.
Is this original size? You push it out a lot?
No, it got pushed out.
Okay.
Not a huge amount, but it definitely got pushed over the edges. Before it had been within the slope, the inner contours.
Yeah.
And Len, kind of took it over the edges and got those fall offs, which are pretty reminiscent of a Ross design style.
So last time I played this hole, number 3, you couldn't see the green in that bunker up the right because all the trees were kind of encroaching down the right side of the fairway. They've opened that up and it's like you get the visual now. It's cool.
Hey T, shout out to my hitter of the double.
This used to be 2 separate tees separated by woods and trees, and we combined them so that we could bring that hole back onto this tee and make it a longer par 4.
The 5th hole is, you've asked me what was my favorite. I mean, it's one of those things, when you get it in play, you just love it. When you don't get it in play, you're like, oh, I hate this hole.
Fairway just slopes all the way down to the right. It's like a racetrack down there, and then cool shot in.
You really have to play to the left side of the fairway to end up in the center of the fairway. And if you play to the right side, you're kicking right and going into the trees. So.
Oh God. Well, hanging lie, just all sorts of tricky Donald Ross stuff here.
Our last project was the 6th tee. We rebuilt the 6th tee. The guys started hand picking this rock that was next to it and discovered that it was this huge piece of granite that was just gorgeous. So they literally dug it out by hand and then rebuilt that whole tee. Our goal is to go around this whole golf course and all the granite, try to get it to where it's exposed.
As far as the routing goes, it's 100% Ross.
100% Ross as far as we know, yes. Yeah, we have the Ross routing plans from 1938, but we have the stories that Ross designed this as a private club in the mid-20s. But the Depression, the stock market crash of 29 stopped them from building it as a private club. So the city picked up the plans for the course, purchased the land, I believe, and hired Walter Johnson, who was Ross's associate and foreman, and used him to help them design to build the golf course.
Favorite hole out there? 10. I think 10's incredible. I mean, just gotta step up, rip a good tee ball, and then you get an extremely hard second shot. I just think it's not quirky. There's nothing, there's nothing quirky about it. It's right in front of you. But you want to bail out right, which is very easy to do, so you don't pull your shot into the woods. You can't even see the green, and you probably got a 4-iron in. If you want to bite off a little bit more, you can at least see the green, but you still got 8, 7-iron down the hill, or maybe if the wind's right, 9-iron a wedge. But
my favorite hole is hole 11. It's a dogleg right, fairly short. I like my hole short because I like to be able to come in two with a short iron.
It's like 4 or 5 like world-class reveals out here. You crest over the hill and you're like, whoa, holy shit. Like that's what's waiting for me on the next shot.
Safety.
The anti-right ball.
Right up and against a boulder.
Everything I like about golf is on display today. Like it's a reflection of a local place. It's on a captivating piece of land. It's got a great history. It's got a great story behind it. And I think it's got a great future. Like, I think they're just scratching the surface out here.
There's a massive sense of place here, right? You know you're in New England, you know you're in Boston, you've got the rock outcroppings, you've got the mature trees. The moment you pull into the driveway to the moment you're sitting on this beautiful patio, you feel like you're in Boston, which is what every good golf course should have.
It's a model for like a bunch of other cities that have kind of neglected assets to follow.
Be close, be close. Good ball. Nice putt, that's in. Nice birdie.
Oh, he's got some flourishes, some signs there. What's your recommendation here? What's your advice on this hole?
I still don't know how to play it.
What do you do on 12?
I have no idea. I've played that hole, I don't know how many times. I have no clue whether you hit 6-iron or driver or anything in between.
12 is a double tier tee shot, and we have really tried as hard as we can to get that more open.
What do you like about it?
That it's blind, even though that sucks, but it's a cool look from the tee box, and especially looking back from the green to see the undulations and how the fairway goes back and forth, left and right.
What's my advice for playing it?
Yeah.
Well, if I'm a long hitter, I just hit it down the hill and hope for the best.
Hug the left side to
Yes.
try to get in
Hug
that.
the tree line on the left, exactly. Okay. We added fairway down the left-hand side. It used to be there was an upper fairway, then a steep hill of rough, and then you went to the lower fairway, and there was no place to hit it on the right. It's made it more playable. I think people like it a lot more. It's still controversial.
There it is.
Nice ball.
Go in.
Good swing.
Whoa.
So when we began restoration of the golf course, we got 3, 4, 5 years into the renovation, and we started to realize that we were becoming tournament worthy. The Mass Am was never on our radar.
We had not hosted either of them at truly public municipal golf courses in their time. And we felt this was absolutely the opportunity to say, let's make golf for everybody.
It was tremendous. I mean, usually when you go, these are held at private golf clubs and the public doesn't get to go, you know, the parents will go and the friends will go and watch it. But we had a lot of people here showing up to see the place.
It was a fun week, exhausting but a fun week. I had a lot of emotional roller coasters. It started in qualifying. I didn't even think I was going to make the cut, to be honest with you, make match play. I wasn't playing well. Before you know it, I etched my way back into the finals, and it was one of the stranger matches I'd ever had. Frody's such a nice guy and really, really good player, and my God, he made every putt he looked at. I mean, it was hard to play against the guy that just didn't miss. I mean, it was fun to watch, but not that fun.
I think overall people felt like it was breaking down a wall or breaking down a barrier.
I don't think players knew what to make of it at first, and then everybody walked away from the experience saying, should do this more often.
Yeah, that was great to see this golf course, you know, at 6,500 yards, give them as much trouble as it
Oh
did,
yeah,
you
I'm
know?
sure. Did it play the way they thought it, or?
Oh, yes, it did.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So dirty.
That's delicate.
Wow.
That was beautiful. Sit down. Settle down. Nice
Really good,
shot.
Cody. I was blown away.
Yeah.
I feel rejuvenated. Making great golf courses, municipal golf courses, shouldn't be as complicated as it's made out to be. Like, you need good people, right? And it's almost like they just treat this as like this is their backyard, and they take a shitload of pride in it. So to see something play out over a series of, you know, now decades, the place is almost unrecognizable from when I was here 5 or 6 years ago. Oh, good swing.
Thanks.
Great swing. Get all over it.
Another good swing.
We're back, baby.
Good bird.
Only took 18 holes. Enjoyed it. That's fun.
That was great.
How does George Wright stack up against the best ones out there, like the Brooklines and the Old Sandwiches and the Boston Golf Club?
I'll tell you right now, it's one of the best layouts in Massachusetts, you know, and I haven't had to have that argument too many times. You say it and people jump on right, you know, there's always the argument, oh, I don't like this course. Everybody has their own opinions, and there's always going to be a few, but I think the general consensus on George Wright is that it is one of the best layouts in Massachusetts, and I think anybody that knows anything about golf can agree with that.
They know what they have, and they're going to continue the momentum that they've experienced. I think the word is out. So welcome everybody, you know, whether you're down the street or from around the country or the world, it's a place you must play.
Like, I was worried bringing you guys here. Like, I was worried that like I'd built it up too much in my head, and so the fact that you guys all, you know, and playing with Will or playing with Mark today, like, it just like, if anything, I think I undersold it to you guys. So I think it's, you know, I just feel kind of fulfilled a little bit after playing out there today.